Okay, so we're going to hydrate. And then alcohol.
Alcohol.
Chin chin to the
Cheers, babe.
pod. Yes. Let's get it, girl.
And we pod. Here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Inspo Pod with me, Bethany. And today I've got the lovely Barry with me.
Yay.
In person. We have an in-person guest. I love this. It makes me so happy.
Exciting.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Really
Good.
good. Thank you. Really excited
Good.
to be here on your pod.
Amazing, amazing. So tell the lovely listeners who you are.
I am Mhairi, and I have known Bethany for how long now? Like 3 years?
A long time.
I think like 3 years. And I live in London. I do acting. I'm a freelancer. And yeah,
Very inspirational lady.
that's what I'm doing at the moment.
And an absolute positive Polly.
Yeah,
That's what I always think of when I think of you.
Positive Polly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Great. Okay, so before we get into kind of what you do now, let's talk a little bit about how we met. So I would say, 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
I think is about bang on.
I think so.
And we met at work.
We did indeed.
In the lovely world of promotions and events. And I think you were one of the first people in that particular job where I thought, oh, do you know what? I found my people.
Yeah, we felt
It's
that
great.
instant connection, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where you kind of walk into a room and you gravitate towards one person when you go into like a group environment. And that was like what it was when me and you first met. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be okay because this person's here, you know?
It was such good vibes, such good vibes. And I'm still working in that industry now. You are no longer.
Not really.
Not really.
Kind of out of it.
Yeah. So you've kind of evolved and kind of, well, you've definitely evolved into like all the things that you want to do. So yeah, tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Yeah, so like I loved promotions and events. Like it's been such a great experience to be in there for a while. Like I've learned so much, learned so much about the world of business and like leveled up within that, which has been really, really like fun and beneficial. And like I said, I've just learned so much.
Yeah.
But I always had in the back of my mind that I want to be an actress. It's just been something that's been in me. Like my whole life, it's always been what I've wanted to do. And so every other job that I've had has always been, okay, I'll do this, but I also always still want to be pushing for acting. And then eventually after a while, I think I just gained confidence and like security in life and was like, yeah, it's time to go freelance. And now I mainly do acting as much as I can, but it's not like very easy career. Like it's not like guaranteed, you know?
Yeah.
So then I just hustle with like 4 other side gigs.
Hustle. You do. You're a hustler.
Yeah.
We're both hustlers. I love this.
Yeah, I have
You've
to
got to
just
make the money.
You do. You've got to make the money and
pay the bills.
you do literally. And so I set like a goal last year when I quit my full-time job in marketing. I was like, I want to get paid for the things that I would want to do in my spare time anyway, because then that would just feel
authentic.
Like authentic in the way that I'd want to live my life. It doesn't feel like I'd compromise anything to earn money. So I kind of really understood like what it is that I took like a while to understand what it is that I actually enjoy doing in my spare time. And how can I do that and get paid for it? And so even if it's just stuff like cooking, like I work at a vegan food truck and I go to different festivals and events and like
amazing.
I love cooking and I love food. And so I've just took the kind of stigma away from how you should earn money and just thought, how do I actually want to spend my time? Money's money, no matter like how you earn it, I kind of think.
I feel like as well, we're so taught to kind of, have a full-time job, work your way up, go to the office every day. This is life. And it doesn't have to be life. And I think you before me, but now both of us, because I've kind of caught you up a little bit.
Oh my God,
are like finding out, what kind of sets our soul on fire and kind of going for it and, doing a little bit of everything here and there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Despite how crazy it might sound.
Yeah. I mean, when you're not doing it, it seems like, well, how can you make that work? But actually, surprisingly, it kind of always does. You have to have a bit of patience and know that there'll be times when you're like, oh, I don't really have a plan here, or I don't really have the next thing secure. But if you just keep going with your method of whatever you're doing, it's bound to kind of continue producing results, and be a bit open-minded to like what you would be up for as well.
Kind of go with the flow of life, right? I think like just follow your heart, go with the flow of life, and you kind of eventually you get there to where you want to be. So
nothing happens overnight, you know.
Exactly. This is it. Everything takes time. And I think if you just keep following your heart, you do get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you do a bit of acting. What else do you do? A bit of voiceover.
Bit of voiceover, a little bit. I'm a Geordie, so that always helps with like, you know, having an accent.
It's not a strong accent though. I feel like the listeners might not realise you're a Geordie.
It depends. Like, it depends who I'm around. I was around 2 Geordies all week, and I feel like it's...
Can you put it on?
Oh my God, it just is bursting to come out.
Give the listeners what they want.
Well, I can go more Geordie like throughout the whole podcast if you really want us to. But I don't know, it's just this weird like mix of kind of Geordie, kind of restrained. I don't know.
No, it sounded good. It sounded great. I love it. I've never heard you speak like that. It's amazing. So yeah, you do a bit of that, and then vegan food truck,
and then I teach art at a art studio called Pinot and Picasso, which I love. It's so fun. It's in Shoreditch. It's a really cool art studio, and we have a natural wine bar, which you still need to come to.
Yeah,
you've not been to yet. You
just hold me to account.
I know,
definitely do.
You'll love it.
I do. So just for listeners again, that was called Pinot and Picasso. Is that right?
Yeah,
love it.
In Shoreditch, and also in Liverpool and Brighton.
Wow, okay.
So we've got a couple now, and I teach painting. So we get a group of people who book on, and I'm like, right, guys, this is a session for creativity. And that's the main thing. You can paint or not, but like, I just really enjoy kind of helping people tap into like creativity for a couple of hours if they don't normally do it.
Getting paid for that as well. Sensational.
And I've learned to paint. I've learned a skill. I was all right at it, and now I'm a bit better at it. So
that's great.
So
I love that. And then you also do a little bit with theatre. Yeah.
So that's kind of feeding into the acting. The list will go on for a while on what I do. Like I said, it's all sorts.
We'll cut it after the theatre bit. But yeah, tell us about the theatre.
But yeah, I've just started working at a theatre company called Clean Break, and I'm basically helping out with their operations. So helping support their rehearsals, helping run their theatre studios, and helping them put on the shows that they do. They've got a show at Brixton House, which has been running all this week. And we basically we have a few different things, but we tend to like work with women specifically. And we try and tell stories of women who have been involved in the criminal justice system. So it's like a really we really try and support women to find their creativity who maybe haven't done that before. And it's just helped so many people, and they put on really great shows. So it's kind of like really...
I need to come and see a show as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I've only just started, but you know, it's going well so far.
No, that's great. I love it. Okay, so we'll obviously, as you said, the list goes on, but I
think that's it. Pretty much the main ones.
Wrap it up there, because that is a lot, and I feel like that's your main kind of things, and everything kind of links in a weird way. So you've got kind of the things that help you kind of learn and grow as a person, and then you've got kind of the acting side of everything as well, which kind of all links together. But yeah, I think you're just really inspirational.
Thank you.
You do a lot, and you do it with such a positive attitude as well.
Oh, thank you.
So we should drink to that.
Oh, let's drink to that.
We should also tell everyone what we're drinking. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I was so up for it because I love tequila, and I love so we're drinking mezcal and pineapple juice, which Bethany really, really kindly and lovelily, if that's a word, bought, and it's gorgeous and really fancy.
For anyone that doesn't know, mezcal is kind of like a smoky tequila. So if you've had a smoky margarita, you'll know kind of what that tastes like. But we had a little surprise before we started. So go on, you can tell them.
Bethany was saying about how she'd learned about how mezcal is made by worms, and that she was like, oh, it's really interesting, it's actually made by worms. And she lifted up the bottle like she's doing now, and we found a friend inside the bottle of
it really clearly, which is Oh,
my God.
the way it wiggles when you move the bottle is just not the one.
So there is a worm inside the bottle of mezcal. And when I said that, you nearly threw the bottle across the kitchen.
Oh my God. So freaked out. And I'm sure there's some of you listening out there that will say, oh my God, we knew that. It happens with every bottle. We did not know this. We were so freaked out.
I'd heard it as a thing. I heard that it was like, oh, sometimes in like certain drinks it's like a worm.
Yeah.
I did not expect you to be able to buy it from a shop and in the UK and there'd just be a casual little bug in there.
It does say bottled in Mexico though.
Okay.
Which is very authentic, which is very in line with us and kind of what we're, you know, our whole thing is authenticity. So we'll go with it.
That's true.
We'll go with it, guys. We'll drink it. We'll see what happens.
Now we can just taste worm, but that's okay.
So on the line of kind of funny stories, have you got any funny stories from kind of your work life, or it doesn't have to be work, kind of anything that's happened to you in your passions or in your work that's kind of...
God, I don't know. Like, I think it's funny because things that I just think I kind of take as standard now.
Yeah.
Other people, when I tell them, they're like, that's so like bizarre. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if it's like funny as such, but like even just this week I do extra work as well. And I was filming
another one for the list
as a 1930s maid.
Wow.
And like, I don't know. It's just like, oh yeah, that's just normal to just kind of casually get dressed up like a Victorian person. And then I don't know, just like walk around all day. And it's just strange. Like I just think, yeah, that's normal. And people are like, okay, that's like really strange.
Yeah. It's fun though. You don't get to do that every day.
I love dressing up. Like kind of like inner child thing, you know? Like
yeah. I mean, I don't know how
sets
I'd
my
feel.
soul on fire.
It's kind of giving Bridgerton vibes in my head.
Yeah, that would be the dream.
What you look like, or
I can show you a picture. Yeah, it's like it's very Bridgerton vibes.
Okay.
But I love period dramas.
Yeah.
I just think it like takes you to like a world that's kind of like this world, but
yeah,
it's just completely different. Yeah, it transports you. I love that.
So I guess my next question for you would be, in acting and kind of the things that you want to do that you're kind of doing a little bit of now in all these different aspects, how did you get into that? How did you know that was what you wanted to do? How did that kind of, how did you know, oh my God, this is what I enjoy?
I just think, I know I just literally have always known, like, you know, those little kids that go to like Stagecoach or like after school, they were always like wanting to be center of attention. Used to put shows on with me and my sister and my little cousin when I was growing up, and like we always just wanted to play pretend, play dress up. If I had a dressing up box my whole life, like I always just loved that kind of vibe.
That's cute.
And so yeah, and I think it's been nice that my parents have always been like, my mum's a teacher, so she's always been like, school's really important and like do your best in that, but they've never said I can't do acting.
Yeah.
They've never been like, you shouldn't do it or it's unrealistic. So I think that really helped growing up, is like they tried to set me up for reality, but they never ever said like, I don't believe in you.
That's so nice to have that support network. And they've obviously recognized maybe the talent in you and kind of, you know, allowed you to flourish. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, which is really, really, I'm really grateful for that. And like when I was 12, I was going to like these after school drama clubs and doing like summer schools. And then I got an audition because I was growing up in Newcastle for Billy Elliot, the musical in the West End.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was like my first ever audition when I was 12 or 11 maybe. Was for Billy Elliot on the West End for Debbie, the girl. And first ever audition, went to an open casting, and they just kind of got you to like do funny scenarios and like sing a song and just...
I feel like you should do one now.
Do stuff. What, a song? Absolutely not.
Funny scenario. I didn't even know what that would entail.
There was a board of people like sitting down, and you had to run it. They said, okay, there's a fire and you have to get everyone out the room.
Right, okay.
And so you had to run in and be like, there's a fire, you have to get out. And then like they would just sit there and not react. And then you had to like,
see, I would find that so daunting, kind of when they don't react, kind of knowing, oh my God, have I done a good job? Like I would definitely be doubting myself and be like, I need that kind of validation, that reassurance of someone going, oh my God, that was really good. Yeah. You know? So I think I'd struggle. So that's amazing that you could do that and just be...
I just think because I just enjoyed being in the center of attention at that point. That was just a win for me at that point. So I think that was always kind of what I did. And then I got down to the end and I got to like the last 3 or 4 people, got to go down to London for the final audition.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get it. And that for a long time, that was always a thing of like, oh, I wish I'd have got that. Like, what would my life have been like if I got on the West End when I was 12? Like, that would have been amazing. My life, you know, I could be working full-time in really great projects, you know, now, who knows? But that's completely gone now because I don't know, you just can't, you know, you can't control the kind of, you can't hold on to them for too long.
I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
you know,
it does.
And I think, especially at the moment, I think me and you are both in such a happy place in life. And I think how different would your life have been? You know, you just don't know.
Who knows? I might not have been happy, you know, and happiness is the most important.
Well, you could have been happy for that period of time, and then years later, you might have gone down a completely different route, you know? You just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
So I always think when you get a no, it's quite often a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And it might have pushed you, you know, to do the next thing.
Yeah. And there's a thing that people, like other actors, have said to me, which is rejection is redirection.
Yes.
And I really like that because it's like, it's not saying no to you, it's saying no to this.
Yeah.
So,
oh, I like that.
You know,
that's good. I'm going to keep that one. So it's not saying no to you. You're not the problem. It's saying no to this, and this thing is just not for you.
Going to bounce you towards the thing that is more right for you.
God, I love that.
So that's good because you face a lot of rejection. Okay. Like I'm sometimes do self-tapes like, you know, 3 times a week, every week, and it's just no constantly.
Yeah.
So that's took a while to kind of get used to.
Yeah. It takes a lot of confidence, I think, and a lot of kind of like resilience to keep going, keep getting a no, but just keep pushing and thinking, I'm good at this, I can do this.
Yeah, and enjoy the process.
Yeah, that's so true.
That's where I've got to with it now is just enjoy doing the self-tape because I'm doing it. I may as well enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love it.
So yeah.
It's so inspirational. But you do have a really positive outlook on life as well. And I think
so do you. You're so positive and just so much of like a high energy person in terms of like just a bright, radiant person.
Oh, stop. You are as well.
You bring so much light.
That's why you're here.
To people's lives, Bethany.
Oh, thanks. You'll make me cry on the podcast. No tears, guys. No tears. But no, you're super, super positive. And sometimes I look at you and I think, oh, I wish I could be more like her.
No.
So like, where did you learn like this positivity, like this outlook on life that you've got, you know, that makes you such a great person to be around? Where does that come from?
It's a big question.
I know. I feel like there's 5 questions in one there.
It's a big question to think like, why am I the way I am? I don't know. And don't get me wrong, like,
we all have bad days.
Yeah,
I know.
In my head, I'm like definitely like really critical of myself and feel like I'm not good enough and feel like, you know, you have all sorts of like spirals and things where you feel frustrated with yourself or disappointed. But I think really, as you know, like the last like maybe year or so has been a lot of like change for me and like me really putting myself first. And I think that's brought a lot to my life, is putting myself first, you know, and making decisions that are for myself and that and not feeling selfish in doing that, because I think you then value yourself and then you feel secure and safe, and therefore you can just like be your happy, authentic self because you're not feeling like you're constantly you know, not safe or not in a living your life how you want to live it. So I think that's been helpful. And I just like to be nice. It's just, even as a kid I can remember being like that, you know. I enjoy it.
Not everyone's like that, you know.
Everyone is, and that's okay. Like it maybe isn't,
I feel like we're quite
doesn't always have
lucky.
to be a good thing, but like I do like it.
Yeah, I feel like we're quite lucky that we are just made this way, where we just like to be nice to people and and happy to be around. But
and maybe it comes from a place of like, I need people to like me, or I need to be like, who knows, in terms of like being nice to people. And I have reflected on that a bit, but Yeah,
It's
I
nice to
think
be
it's
nice.
just my default, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's nice to be nice. I think you should be nice to people, and I think the only time that should change is, like you said, if you're being nice to someone at the detriment of yourself.
Absolutely.
Then that's where you have to like really assess, like, is this the right thing to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being nice to people should always be the default. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I think just building your own energy as well.
Yeah.
Like there's one thing that really got me through like a lot of change and a lot of difficult times, which was kind of thinking, or how I got to the point of being able to put myself first. And it was something I get a lot from like Instagram. I use Instagram so much, and like I should probably use it less, but I found that my Instagram now is just full of things that like
it's the algorithm.
like, and it's a lot of astrology, it's a lot of like motivational things, and so I'm okay with it, but maybe I should be on it less, but who knows. But yeah, the thing that really helped me put myself first is kind of saying I draw my energy back to myself. Like, I don't, so at the end of each day, I'd be like, any energy that I've expended that wasn't necessary, any energy that I've given out, I ask for it to be drawn back to me.
Okay.
And it's not me being like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. It's just like, that's what I've done. But now I draw it all back to me so that I can feel rebuilt again. And it always just kind of, I don't know, makes me feel energized.
Yeah. That's nice. So how do you do this? Do you say it out loud? Do you just say it in your head? Are you kind of lying in bed? Like, set the scene for me, because I want to try this.
I think, I mean, I don't know. I always find it so interesting. Like, how much does other people talk to themselves in their head?
I talk to myself all the time.
Because it's kind of all the time. Like,
yeah,
maybe, you know, like, oh, have a quiet mind. I'm like, well, that's not what I have.
There's voices in my head, and I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we're crazy. We're not.
No.
But yeah, so it's kind of just replacing those. If there's negative thoughts, I try and accept that they're there, and then just follow it up with a positive thing.
Okay.
So I'm not being like, oh, I shouldn't be saying that this isn't right, or I don't look right, or whatever. If I'm taking my makeup off at nighttime, for example, and I could be like, oh, I look tired or whatever, I can think that, and then I'll clock that I've said that and gone
and spin it,
and then just follow up with I'm beautiful, or I have got good skin, or I like my hair, or I did my best today. You know, I'm not saying, oh, I shouldn't say that, but just following it up with a positive, and then those positives start to come quicker after a while.
Okay.
And that's how I do it.
I like that.
Just trying to clock those negative thoughts and replace it.
Then not telling yourself off for it, because then that's like a double negative.
It puts more energy into it. Just kind of ignore it and just put your energy into something positive.
Say something positive. Oh, I like it. Okay, great. Right, I'm going to try that tonight. Yeah. Maybe not tonight, because I'm going to be having a few drinks. Tomorrow night we'll try that.
That's the plan, isn't it? Gonna have a few drinks after this, I think.
Yes, might even drink some worms.
We were so scared. We were like checking our drinks. Like,
oh my god, if it's in my drink.
It's in the back of your mind, isn't it? You're like,
it really is. Every time I take a sip, I'm like, oh my goodness, not on the podcast, guys. Can't drink worm on the podcast. But okay, so that moves quite nicely on to my next question for you is going to be kind of any tips or advice for just life in general and being positive and, you know, chasing your dreams. So you've kind of given us one really useful kind of tip there, I guess. Have you got any others? Any other little things that we can do?
I'm such a self-improvement girly. Like it's literally my hobby. Yeah, definitely. Like I really enjoy doing it. So I've got a lot. I love astrology. We both love astrology. Yeah. And I found that really interesting to just learn more about myself and how I show up in the world, and it also just gives me kind of justifications for the way I am as well. Yeah. Which I mean, some people like it, some people don't, but I find it really reassuring, you know? Yeah. It's like, oh, it makes sense now why I really like my space to be comfy and like textural, because I'm a Taurus and that's all about senses. So you know, just, Taurus. Taurus. Taurus 20s.
We are the bull.
We are the bull. So yeah, it just helps me understand myself. So I would say, I don't know, maybe just whatever method it is that you gravitate towards to discover more about yourself, like go for it. however that might be, whether it's sport and you find that you learn about your discipline and your teamwork and how you show up to other people through a sport, then like just really be present and mindful in that and like learn those lessons, like be aware of the opportunity to learn lessons.
I think awareness is really important. I think having an awareness of your thoughts and like how you feel in certain situations and how you act in certain situations is really important. You can learn a lot from that. Just being, like you say, being present in your mind and being aware of what's happening and what's happening inside you as well as outside of you is really important.
Both. Absolutely. I think it's always, I always like to learn things, and so just keep learning. I would say keep learning about yourself, keep learning about life, and don't just feel like I thought I knew everything, and then now you realize that you don't.
Don't we all?
And then you really don't, and you're like, okay, well, let's just accept that I got a lot to learn still,
We all have though, and I think we're all on a journey, and I really love the journey that me and you are on at the moment, and I think it's just a nice place to be.
It's amazing.
I've learned that the end is not really where the happiness is, because you always think, oh my God, when I've got £1 million, when I've got a house on the hill, no neighbors, I'll be happy. This is where happiness is. It's not. It's in the journey. It's in the change, the ebb and flow of life, showing up for yourself, having a good day, having a bad day. It's all part of it.
Absolutely. And it's not about the outcome. It is about just finding happiness in the process of it.
100%. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to die.
That is true.
Just to bring it down.
That is true. And like sometimes those thoughts do come across and you're like, oh God, that really is going to happen.
But when you realize that we're all in the same boat.
It's inevitable. So there's no point worrying about it.
So we might as well just enjoy the journey. Like that's what we're here for. Oh, I'm feeling so inspired. I love it.
There's a freedom, isn't there, to be just accepting the situation.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Okay, a bit of a funny one. So tell us anything in life that annoys you. Anything that kind of gives you the ick. Is there anything that just really irritates you?
See,
and you can say anything you want on this podcast. Like I have millions of things that give me the ick, irritate me, annoy me, make me angry. All sorts. We can't be positive all the time.
No, it's true. I feel like I need to know yours, because I don't think there's loads of things that annoy me, but like I don't know how funny they are, but I'll just start ranting. Like for me, it's just like the main thing that makes me annoyed right now is like it's not funny, but it's just I'm gonna get on a rant about it. It's misogyny. Like people who are not even just men necessarily, but just people who only like make an effort if they want something. It just really, I'm like baffled as to how people can be like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I've experienced it through many times. And it's just like, why are people like that?
So unnecessary.
It's just so confusing.
I really want to be clear on this podcast as well that, I'm not here to like hate on any men at all, But I do think to myself sometimes, God, if the world was just women, it would be such a beautiful place. And I know men, we love you and hate you, love you. We want to live with you, but also want to live without you. So
I also want to live without you something.
But I just think a world full of women would be fantastic.
It would be amazing. I'd like to experience it. Like I'd like the world that we have that has men in it, but I'd also like to experience a world that is just women. I think it would be so interesting.
Just for a day, I think that'd be so fun.
And
I think women have a tendency as well to build each other up and be emotional and kind of be in touch with their emotions. And I think I've definitely experienced in the workplace especially kind of misogynistic vibes and kind of I would say toxic masculinity is one that really irritates me.
It really is just so frustrating. It's just like,
sorry man,
sort yourselves out. Like please just like soften yourself and just look at what's in front of you. I think they actually just really get in their own heads.
I think it's self-awareness. I think if you can learn to have self-awareness, it really will change your life.
But also just empathy for like the people who are right in front of you. Like taking yourself out of the center. Like it's kind of sounds contradictory because I'm like put yourself first. That's like a really empowering thing, but not ignore all the other people that are
not at the detriment of others, basically,
and about the whole like a world full of women at the theatre company I work at the moment, it is exclusively all women identifying theatre company. So I've had that little experience of like what an environment can be like when it is all women, and just feels less stressful.
That's great.
It's just less stressful. So I would say, like, I've also got a book club as well that I've only actually been to one.
She's got so many things.
Well, I don't run the book club. I'm in a book club, but like I've only been to one meeting. So book club girlies, sorry that I've missed so many book clubs. But that's all women, and that's just like a really nice environment. So if you can find or create a little group of women that you can do things with, rather than just socialize, maybe like work like what you're doing now or something.
I think that's
nice.
so nice as well, to find things in your social life that don't just revolve around drinking, you know, like you've got book club, you know, you do these little things where you kind of find your tribe. And if it is all women, great, because you can all build each other up and it's such a nice environment.
Yeah, there's just, you don't have that kind of feeling of having to be kind of performative or like aware that there's a man in the room. You literally can just relax.
Yeah. I love it.
This
is what I think about a world of like just women, because I think, oh my goodness, I could walk down the street. If it's sunny, I could get my boobs out, tan them. Yeah. No one's going to stare at me. It's fine. That's what I would love to happen. But, you know, we're not there, guys.
I was walking through Camden today and there was a girl in front of me and she was like in a great little outfit. And I was watching and people were just like staring at her. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like,
London's the worst for that. So yeah, anyone that lives in London, you'll understand it's the worst, especially in the summertime.
It's just like, yeah, it's just a girl, it's just a woman, you know? Like,
yeah, it's annoying. I guess, is there anything else that kind of annoys you? I'll give you a couple of mine, like, that was a great one.
I want a funny one. I want one of your funny, because you can get a bee in your bonnet about some things. I love it.
These ones aren't quite as deep, but they're just like little things that just irritate me. So people that walk slowly.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't stand.
Oh my God, yeah. Someone actually walked so slowly that I couldn't get on the tube to come to you.
Oh no.
I was like, you moved too slowly and now the doors are closed. Like, I so could have gone on.
I had that the other day where someone kind of jumped on and it was about to go and she jumped on but then just stood in the door. I was like, you need to keep going, because now I was like then half on. My backpack and my bag were out of the door. My body was in the door and I was like, I literally had to just push her. I was like, I don't know what else to. And then afterwards I was like, I'm so sorry. You need to keep walking.
Get on.
Get on. On that same line though, people that walk with umbrellas up when it's not raining. And I think this is more of a London thing, because I think in London, if you walk to work and you kind of get that London commute, you've got all these people everywhere, it can get so busy. And sometimes when it rains, people will just have their umbrellas up and it won't even be raining anymore. And they're all just walking into each other, like umbrellas hitting each other, water going on everyone. And it's like, I want to murder someone. For all my positivity, those are the moments where I'm like, I could actually murder someone.
I think I'm that person who has their umbrella up when it's not raining.
It's you. You are my ick.
It's me. I'm too busy thinking positive thoughts and I forgot that I'm holding an umbrella.
That's so funny. What else?
There's some good
sticky glasses in bars. You know, if you get sticky glasses. Yeah, and it's sticky on the outside and you've just been served a drink.
Yeah, and you're like, I want the drink, but not that glass.
Not the last person's, you know, saliva or cocktail or whatever was in the glass before.
That's so bad.
But yeah, that's
and dirty cutlery. Oh my God, no.
Yeah,
that's grim.
Yeah, that's a good one. Have you got any more little funny ones?
Oh, okay, like rude people in general, like people who like you know, wait, I work in a bar, so like I know what it's like. Yeah, you don't need to be rude to your customers. No, like, I'm here to have a good time. I know you're here every day and like you're over it right now, but I'm not over it.
Just learn to act.
It is part of the job, is to be customer service. And I'm not saying like, you know, you have to be super smiley, but you don't have to like make me feel like an idiot for ordering a drink. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate that. I've had that before, and I think I'm not going to come back then. When I've had this, I'm off.
And I'm sure that they're fine about that, but it's not the one for me.
Rudeness in general is just not the one. So far we hate men and rude people.
And umbrellas.
Okay, great. And I guess just to wrap up then, have you got any kind of last words of wisdom? I don't know, just anything else that you want to kind of add in, if you want to kind of inspire someone?
There's one thing that I think I shared it on my Instagram story the other day, and we both really share stuff on Instagram. You especially. We're like, oh my God, we've solved all our problems. We need to share it to the world.
Sure there's someone out there who would say their ick and their thing that annoys them is people that overshare on Instagram or women that share inspirational quotes.
It could be.
Sorry, I'm your ick. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's a form of love language. Yeah. I think is sharing inspirational posts with your friends. Yeah. I think.
Definitely.
But there was one that was, again, looking in the mirror, like first thing in the morning, for example. I think it's really good to like just look what my friend, she told me a while back, she was like, if your head's ever in a spin, just look at yourself in the mirror for like, just look at yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, and it will just center you so quickly.
Ooh, okay.
Because you're like, fuck, hang on. I'm actually right there. That's me. Yeah. And yeah, okay, let's sort myself out now. It just calms you down really quickly.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at myself in the camera and
how are you feeling?
I don't know.
Just like, yeah. I mean,
all I'm worried about is the worm, so that's what I'm thinking about. But
yeah, the worm.
That's a good one though.
But yeah, do have a look at yourself in the eyes sometimes, and then I sometimes say, if I'm in that kind of like heads in a like overthinking state, just be like, what is it that I need right now, or what can I do to make myself happy right now? Yeah. Because you try and solve so many other things, whether it's so many things on your to-do list or so many life admin things, but before you can even do that, you have to make sure that you're set up to do those things.
Yeah, definitely.
So just be like, what can I do for you right now, to yourself? And honestly, most of the time I just think, I need a glass of water because I've not actually drank some water. And it'll be like, okay, just have a drink of water and then you can crack on with things. And it's just the process of doing that, again, putting yourself at the forefront
I think that's really important.
I found that helpful.
Yeah, because if you're just running around doing things for other people and doing, you know, life admin, what are you doing your life admin and what are you doing your job for if it's not for you? You know, you're a human being. You're not on this planet to kind of just fulfill everyone else's needs or to do life admin for yourself, but then you're not even enjoying the rewards of it. So, you know, you have to remind yourself that you're the person that's here. It's all you're on here on this planet for you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I like that one. Okay, great.
I love that as well. Like you're on this planet for you. Like
yeah.
It's
but what
so
life,
true.
Guys, live it.
We're
full of inspirational quotes. We could go all
we could turn them out.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on
and
chatting away with me. I feel like there's so much more we could have got into, and I think definitely in the future we should do another episode and maybe delve a little bit deeper into some things that we spoke about today. But yeah, I've really enjoyed chatting to you
as always
and drinking with you.
Yeah.
And then after this, I'm gonna go and enjoy dancing with you. So thank you guys for listening so much. Yeah, tune in again to see more of my lovely guests. But yeah, thank you, Mhairi, for coming on.
Thank you, Beth.
And we'll see you again soon. Thanks, everybody.